Hello and welcome. This is a Dewalt DCH253. Going to do a little brush replacement on it. About 6 years ago I did a video on this. In fact, it was a series of 3 videos showing you how to take this apart and replace the brushes. This is just an updated version of that, so I'm going to get into it. You have to literally pull them off like that. It looks rough, but that's actually the way it goes. You don't break anything by doing that. And there's a good bit of wear in those brushes. See, they're well down. They're well away from the top. This one's done a bit of work. Nope, nothing's break. Nothing's broke. Sometimes I do break them taking them off. They get brittle. But I have a little workaround, and I can put my own version of a cable retainer on that. It's not hard to do. Sometimes you see this happens too, the little terminals get burnt or broken over time. So we can replace that as well. That's for later on. I'm better to get the last screw out. Comes off easier when you take all the screws out. There. That could have been contributing to your performance issues as well. Always see. This change of brushes will not do that any harm. And we'll clean up with the armature as well. The burn feels good, the armature don't look too bad. There's not too bad of wear in that. A little clean up. It's perfectly fine. Not too bad. That are all with a little bit of brake cleaner there. It's not bad now. And as you've seen, I blew out the motor and the field coil. We've got to put the motor together and put it back in. It's important to orientate this properly because there's a little groove there. I'll show you where. We see that notch there. It has to line up with that notch. In order to get that lid on, you know. So that's the way that goes. And put the brushes on. I guess, yep. And there's a little slide that they slide in, like that. They're all the way home there. Right. So we're ready to try and put the lid on here now. Just line up with that groove. There, no. We're just not exactly at it. Just to go over a little bit like that. Here we're lining up with that groove now. Right, I've got all the screws in and I've got a bit of a soldering job done on this terminal here, so it stays in, hopefully. That old terminal is terrible, and the retainer broke off, so I'm doing it. I'm putting in a screw where the retainer was to hold that wire in place, so it'll have a bit of slack and it won't get pulled out. To get it to this stage, you usually put a screw in here just to hold it together. And you see these two springs have slightly different diameter. You can tell what goes where if you happen to forget. To line everything up. There's this little piece that you push in there, and it holds the battery connector out towards the battery. It gives you good contact. There's a little metal piece here as well. It slides in there. Easier said than done. There it is there. We could clean the switch, but I think the switch ain't too bad. It's time to put the cover on and screw it together. And that up at the bottom. Nope. That metal piece always wants to fall out, but you can get it sort of slotted in here. And sometimes you just put a screw in just to make sure it stays on, because we can fit the rest. I'll keep that metal piece on. Also, this part of the body, to get that lined up, you get on with a screwdriver like this. This is what I always do. I seen a guy years ago beating it together with a rubber hammer, but I don't subscribe to that method. Not at all, not even slightly. That lines that up. It's lined up on both sides. So we just put the screws on now, put it together. That's the screws on and the switch moving freely. The side switch on here, the mode selector, it's got that shape on it that fits directly over that. It's got a screw in the middle, and you just put that on. Tighten it up gently, because you can't damage these putting them on. I'll not tell you how I find that out. And the next thing is a spring to keep that selector in place. That's actually what holds it in the mode it's in, if you know what I mean. And the lid, of course, yes, it can only go on one way as well, so you can't go wrong with that either. so it stays in place. This clip's not really too hard to get in. And you push this rubber thing in, this clip's not right in. Right down there. There it is. You just push that rubber thing in, and you can test it at this stage that it's working properly. Which it is. Are back together. Going in all three modes. So that's perfect. DCD996, and it's got a problem. And there we go. There we go. First thing we've got to do is get this opened. There's T15 screws in this part of the body, and the rest of them are all T10. I usually use contact cleaner to clean up these modules and switches, but since this one is used in a workshop that repairs cars, and that's why it's so greasy, I thought to myself, why not use something native lying around? Brake parts cleaner. So brake cleaner is going to be the order of the day. There is someone that told me that the brake parts cleaner works better, so I'm going to test it out tonight. But before I do that, I'm going to take the compressor and give it a little blow out. I just work the switch. Work this bottom switch too. I'm trying to get some of that right in there. Yeah, I'll use the compressor to maybe dry that off. Dry off the excess. I'll put it back together and see if that's done the trick for us. Now we go for the moment ultra to see if that has made any difference. Smells alright anyway. That's looking pretty good to me. DCS367 Reciprocating Saw. Pull the trigger. She's trying to go, but she does not manage it. So we'll have to get her open and see what's going on inside. There we are. There we are. First thing we've ascertained is this part is moving, so that's good. This part is not. The bearing's okay. Oh, we're starting to get movement now. This is progress. This is progress. I'll clean the motor as well when I'm at it, but that's good. This is progress. That's lovely stuff there, not that. I'll have to get that out of her. Old friend, electrical contact cleaner. We blasted that down in there in the motor with a blue coil, you know. Screws all tightened up now, so we've got to give her the big test, don't we? I'm calling that fixed. Got this DCS355 Type 10. It works alright. Works as it should, you know. Except for one thing. When you go to put these blades in, hold on, this lever is not pushing back the quick release mechanism far enough for this blade to fit in. Solution is simple. Buy one of these on eBay. Get it for less than a tenner. That's it all back together now, and it's looking better already. You can see the gap. Look at that. And this old one was badly worn here. You can see just where my finger is there, both sides, and that was what was pushing the lever up. The real test is putting the blade in. Look at that. Isn't that phenomenal? I have this 4-amp Dewalt battery, and it's been through the wires. There's no battery indicator to tell us what's going on there, but we have a voltmeter, and I'll just hook it up to it now. The voltmeter is showing 16.43. I know why this is, but I'm going to get into the battery and show you why it is. The battery open, we can have a closer look at this has been through the wires, this one. Test individual banks of cells to see where we're at. 401.66 of a volt, 3.94, 3.73 and 408. So there's one bank of cells is less than a volt. There's a little technique I recently learned to bring up the voltage of this bank of cells. I've all sorts of different techniques I've had before, but I've been told if they're under 2 they're kaput, but I think we can try something. There's this LiPo balance charger, and this is designed to charge different types of batteries. You can select all different types. We're going LiPo batteries, which is lithium ion or LiPo, you know. And what we'll connect is, we'll go from plus to minus. We'll have to get the polarity right here, because we're going this bank of cells here. I think that's the way it was. Yes, that's plus, that's minus. So we'll hook these on. I'll show you what I'm going to do now. So that's charging this bank of cells. So we have to just test and select the right battery here.
So we have to select the right type of battery here on this. Let's see, I'll start again. You press that once, that flashes. You press that twice, that flashes. So we'll go down to 1S, so that means we're charging one bank of cells. And press start, then we hold. And that'll check. And I'll press enter. And that'll start charging that bank of cells. And that fully charges that up like the rest. We should have a good battery again, so we'll give that some time. In a short time, it's come to 3.62 that is. It hasn't far to go to match the rest, another 0.3 of a volt, so we'll give it more time. This has been on over an hour and it's probably put things up a wee bit too high, but it's 4.08, 4.01, 393, 371 and 407. So there's one bank a little bit low still. I could switch over to it and try and get it up a little. Since this was nearly at the top, I didn't go as gentle with the charge. I've given her a 3 amp charge instead of 1.7 which you give the other bank. So that should come up fairly quickly. So that means now we've got our battery voltage up to 1992, which is almost full charge. 20.2 would be better, but we'll put it in the charger to see what happens. Just put it together, put it in the charger here. And here goes. It's charging. It shouldn't take it very long to get up to full charge, so we'll bear with it a minute here. I'll just stop the video and then I'll restart when it's charged. There we have a solid red light in the charger, but we've no battery indicator in this one because this is a rough battery to show us what bars we have, but that's not important. We'll just test the voltage to see if that has helped in the balance of this battery. It's brought it back from the dead either way. Nearly 19.9. So it could do we've been balanced a little bit more, but I think we can see the benefit of that B6 balance charger now. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and check out my channel for all my other videos.